Good evening. In our news bulletin for tonight, Niue has been listed as the third fastest growing tourist destination. The Massey University conduct a scoping exercise for education for agricultural outreach. The winning team from the 21-day Pacific Challenge are on island and they're prepared to implement their project addressing food security in Niue. Roaming dogs becomes an ongoing problem, but the Niue Police Department are taking a hard stance to remove all unregistered dogs. Niue is now being picked up across the world, and this year it was listed as the United Nations World Tourism Organization as the third fastest growing tourist destination in the world by percentage increase in 2015, a major achievement for a small atoll in the Pacific with a population of just under 2,000 people. The first quarter for 2016, the Statistics Office indicated that Niue's visitor arrivals for the first quarter of 2016 experienced a slight decrease of about 21 visitors compared to the same period last year. A somewhat larger decrease was experienced in visiting friends and families, primarily due to the large 50th Jubilee celebrations for Hakupu last year. The statistics also indicate that there has been an increase in holiday makers over the traditional quiet or visited friends and relatives period, and a slightly older bracket of travellers coming through in this year's first quarter. The Niue Tourism Office remains confident that key targets of a projected 10% influx of visitors will be met by the end of the year. Work on Niue's much-anticipated conference centre will commence in mid-July at the scenic Matawi Resort and will mark the beginning of a year-long development for Niue as a key part of Niue's tourism development strategy with the aim of growing the market by 10% on an annual basis, specifically looking at periods outside of the traditional peak season. Consultants from Massey University arrived on island to help with agriculture awareness and assist in finding creative ways to encourage students or young people into the agriculture sector. The Agriculture Education and Outreach Technical Cooperation Project is funded by the Food and Agriculture Organization. FAO Representative Marie Brannigan and her team are working together with the Education and Agriculture Department for the next 4 years.
So we're out here this time round, our first trip, to find out what is the context for Niue agriculture, what are the things that your young people need to learn to get excited about agriculture and horticulture, and what are the things that we can bring to your equation from Massey that might add value to developing that. But getting the idea that it's not just about growing a garden at home, but there's a whole wide opportunity to be involved in. So there's exploring the sciences, and we've just come from the Natural Resources Ministry, so talking with Dr. Josie there around the kinds of other opportunities that young people can get involved in through agriculture, but looking at a much broader way of working. We've also talked with some of your people in tourism, and we know how important agriculture and horticulture is going to be for Niue in your tourism sector as well. So I think there's lots of things going on in the space.
There has been a lot of interest during the discussions with key stakeholders and heads of departments to improve the curriculum in agriculture within the schools. The main focus of the team is to hopefully increase the production capacity of young people in the agriculture industry that will impact on Niue's overall food security for the long run, providing quality local food products.
The FAO wants to see those young people seeing opportunities for them to go once they leave school to get involved in agriculture. Where we're coming from, and certainly we've been at the local primary school and with the ECE group, and we know how important it is to have that happening throughout the whole education career of a child. And so we'll be supporting not just the high school senior students, but looking at how can we support your ECE and your primary school teachers and what they're doing in their classrooms to also get agriculture looking very cool for young people. We are looking at finding out what we need to know to support a good curriculum design for agriculture and horticulture for your senior high school students, but one that is real for Niue. So what are the things that are happening here? What are the challenges? What are the learnings that need to happen for young people to be able to go forward in agriculture? That's our first one. And then our second one is looking at how can we support the community to develop and support the young people into that space also.
Ms. Brannigan and her team have a full schedule ahead with meetings and discussions before heading back to New Zealand next week on Tuesday. Educate, the winning team from the University of Canterbury's 21-day Pacific Challenge, have arrived on island to work with the community to implement their project concept within 10 days. The initiative is supported by the University of Canterbury and the Pacific Island Trade and Invest, specifically for students doing business studies at the University of Canterbury. Last year was the first time ever the university put out the challenge and winning teams went to the Philippines, and this year Niue was selected as the country for the challenge. The group arrived on Tuesday and we caught up with them yesterday to find out more about the challenge.
This challenge brought together students from all different disciplines throughout the university and brought 5 teams together, of which we were one of the teams. So from the 5 teams, we went through a preliminary judging and then the final judging. So the brief that we had was we had $10,000 to help conserve, protect and sustain Niue's food supply and systems. And our idea for this was to create a cookbook and a Tamofa kitchen. We decided that the best approach that we could do was create a potluck, which is essentially when people bring a plate of food from home and they bring it to an event. So this event will be held at Te Aonga Niue, which is located just next to the high school. This will be held on the 7th of July at 4:30 p.m. So it would be great if you could all come along with your filled out recipe forms and we will make sure that your recipe is in the second edition of our cookbook.
So having the bio, so the recipe that they contribute, that talks about where the recipe came from, who contributed it, just making it a little bit more personal. And one of the ladies that we were in touch with to prepare the first few recipes, Lossie, she got these recipes off us and kind of went through and made sure that they were okay sharing all this information, and if they weren't, then they can make it more generalised, and instead of adding your family secrets into the recipe, making it just recipes that everybody can know and knows how to cook, but you can add your own special little touch to it.
Part of the challenge for the teams was trying to develop a project concept while studying in New Zealand, but having to get information from sources living in Niue to shape and mould their group project. For the past few weeks, they've been able to work with Te Aonga Niue and the education departments, as well as other key stakeholders on island.
A few of us struggled to understand island time at stages, and the level of emailing and contact that was that we were trying to get across. Although there's only an hour difference in time, it was quite different to the time that we were using as students. And so this did pose quite a few challenges at some stages where we'd like confirmation on things, but as the 4 other teams were also looking for similar confirmation, there was a lot of pressure put on the people that we were involved with.
Team Educate is a quite diverse mix in terms of expertise, and this experience has helped them grow as a team and develop the winning concept.
Got 2 engineering students who are doing different types of engineering. We both are doing, marketing, but with other aspects of finance and her arts as well. Then we've got another member who does geology. And that's quite cool because everybody adds different diversity and has different strengths in the team. But from day one, we all just got along so well.
Yeah.
Our group just clicked and we were friends and having fun hanging outside of the challenge, which is always good because then when it comes to doing work, it just makes life so much easier. And
the group have been working with counterparts on the island trying to get buy-in from the community to ensure the successful implementation and completion of their project. One of the tangible outcomes will be the publication of a recipe book that will be a compilation of recipes from the local community that can also serve as a taonga for future generations.
This recipe book really gives the children a resource to see how things are done and what the process is without having to kind of annoy the grandparents and their parents who are trying to prepare something quickly on a Saturday morning before they go and do other activities.
The first volume we wanted to get obviously done so we could bring it over here, but the second one we've got printing facilities back in New Zealand, so we want to get recipes, design it all, and then send it back over. Especially also the people that submitted a recipe will get a copy, and then the rest will put up for sale and profit and that kind of thing, just to help the committee that we're setting up. But yeah, so the printing is all done, will be done in New Zealand.
The Taumafa kitchen structure will be developed throughout the next week and will be launched on Thursday, 7th of July. That will coincide with a potluck dinner or feast to be held at Taonga Niue. For the next few days, they're also hoping to get out into the community to talk with people. Sessions have also been organised with the schools to promote food security and students to consider the University of Canterbury for future studies. Several visitors have expressed concerns over the number of dogs roaming within village boundaries that have been seen to be aggressive towards walkers, cyclists and runners. The Niue Tourism Office have formally informed the Niue Police Department and would like to seek the cooperation of the general public, village councils and dog owners to address these concerns. But the Niue Chief of Police, Tony Edwards, said his department is now taking a hard line and will be taking necessary steps to eliminate dogs that are not registered. They will be knocking on doors and asking homeowners if they have any dogs and whether they are registered, and any unregistered dogs will be eliminated. And those are our news stories that we have for you this evening. We do hope you can join us for our next news bulletin next week. Don't forget the Niue High School Sports Day that will be on tomorrow morning.